Dr. Cella here. I've wanted to make this video for some time, and I don't know, something always happens, I get distracted, but the word Flexbone. I've always, I'll just be honest with you, I've never been a huge fan of it. I think it sounds a little gimmicky. But let me tell you where it stems. It derives from what was referred to as the flexible wishbone. That's why it's called Flexbone. Now, the origins of this have been highly debated. Matter of fact, there was some thing done on Twitter a week or two ago about it. The origin of it was in the 1970s. Now, the best answer I've ever gotten was University of Delaware in 1977 brought in Tony DeMeo, and Tony DeMeo taught Delaware how to run triple option out of what they call the red and blue formation, which is basically with one back, two slots, or they call them wings, with a tight end and a receiver. So that's the best story I've heard. That was 1977. Now I can verify that not just from Tony, who's told me the story, but also one of the quarterbacks on that team is a very, very close friend of mine. So 1977 is where it started. Now, if you claim that somebody else did it before that, okay, good for you. You can let me know. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess maybe it does a little bit, but not much. Because I don't want you on Twitter for 3 weeks debating on it. Just shut up and figure out how to do this the right way the first time so you don't get fired. Okay, so the term Flexbone. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I get it. And I have to use it, and I have to use the hashtag in the videos because so many people refer to what Air Force does now as the Flexbone. Once again, I don't like it. I think it's real gimmicky. You either read your way out or you don't. If you're not reading your way out, why are you doing this? Now, triple option is reading your way out. Now, the thing is, Flexbone's a gimmicky name, but triple option really, last year was only a little over 10% of Air Force's offense. When Paul Johnson ran triple option, most years it was between 15 and 20%. His last year at Navy, he actually ran it 27% of the time, which was a lot. Once again, that was a different time. They used to use the triple option to set up the zone dive. Now, Air Force uses the zone dive to set up the triple option. And I've said this in unlimited videos. What Air Force is doing right now, over the last 4 years, is better than it's ever been done. They're doing more with less than anybody that's ever done this offense. Anybody that's ever done this offense. Yeah, the Oklahoma teams were great in the 80s, but they also had players. But Barry Switzer had the testicles to run wishbone with great athletes. And when you do that, good luck. That's why they won the national title and beat Penn State in 1980, I believe it was 1985. So, anyway, Flexbone. A lot of guys like it. I think it's real gimmicky. I like calling the offense triple option. When I went into business on my own in 2013, I refer to what I do as the Triple Option Football Academy because it's about the triple option. Because if you don't have a triple option, what are we doing here? Now, Flexbone, to me, really represents the formation. It represents the two halfbacks in the wishbone becoming slot backs. That's what Flexbone is. They changed the depth to closer to the offensive line, and that's what makes it flexible. And it created a situation where now, instead of it being a 31 personnel or 30 personnel or even 32 personnel, Now it's 10 personnel, or some people maybe in Flex will consider it 12 personnel. whatever. It doesn't really matter. You're going from a 3-back set to a 1-back set. That's the whole point. It makes defenses have to defend the threat of 4 verticals. So anyway, I don't know what you prefer to call it. What I've learned is I don't like the word flexbone, but I use it because that's how people know it now. But without the triple option, you really don't have an offense. Although, like I've said, last year Air Force ran triple option a little more than 10% of the time. But here's the thing, coaches, and I'm going to say this to you now, and I want you to listen carefully, and you might even write this down. It's not the triple option that scares people. It's the threat of the triple option. It's not the triple option that scares people. It's the threat of the triple option. When people know they have to defend the triple option, it makes people play different. Air Force goes into games and they say, look, there's 2 things the defense is going to do. They're either going to try to play our conventional stuff or they're going to try to defend the triple option. And the bottom line is this. If 1 takes the dive and 2 takes the quarterback, they're defending it. Otherwise, they're not really defending it, and there's better place to run. So basically, unless you get a blood stunt, they're not defending your triple option. Now, the triple option's evolved, and it continues to evolve. Now it's pretty much pure midline triple option. I do think you will see Navy run under center inside veer this year, what they call 12 and 13. I do think you'll see that because Grant Chestnut did that at Kennesaw. But the problem is, until we have 3 league games under our belt, we don't know what they're going to do. And I don't care what you see in the spring when you go to Annapolis. It doesn't matter. What did they do on film in conference games? That's what's going to tell you about Navy. So, is Navy a flexbone team? I don't know. To me, flexbone is under center football where you have 2 slots. So, we're going to find out. But the point of this video is, I'm not a big fan of the word flexbone, but because of its broad usage, I use it. So if you ever wonder why I don't use the word flexbone a lot, that's why. Because without the triple option, you don't have anything. But it's not the triple that scares people, it's the threat of the triple. So hopefully I answered that question in the last 8 minutes. Talk soon.